Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here. Coming out again, a narration of Dude After Dark. Let me cruise on in and get all my various ducks in a row. And man, I got to tell you what. The news right now is looking bleeding hilarious because these guys are completely losing their nut. And I do mean not even just a little bit, but they are just completely becoming full on out and out. Yeah, they're just losing it. Okay, sound guy, I got it. Okay, they are losing it, and that's putting it more than just a little bit politely. But oh man, the news stories coming out. These guys are just flipping losing it. I do have numerous, and I do mean voluminous amounts of memes I've thrown in there. Let me just say right off the bat, the Mike Tyson fight, dude, seriously, that was just yeah, it was bad. I mean, you could tell dude was gassing out and he's losing steam and he's dancing around, and Paul is just like, I'm the young guy, I'm full of beans, and I really don't want to beat the old guy up because it's gonna look too bad. So they were dancing around with each other, and you thought going into it Mike Tyson was just gonna rip him a new one. It was gonna be, it's spicy. But really, it kind of came out to be almost a case of, please don't hit Mike Tyson too hard, or
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah, it was just horrifically bad. And I do mean, like, I'm sure at some points you see Tyson was walking around painfully, like, I'm the old guy, it's not working so good. And I'm sure he at some points in that, ring, he was walking around and going, yeah.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, just bad. Like, unworthy, unmerited, just bad execution. Also, Netflix having their streaming issues where everybody's like, it's not working, it's buffering. I gotta say, at some points the buffering was probably more exciting and more entertaining to watch than the actual fight. Wow, what a complete total blech fest. I've gone very kind of British today. My Tiggy juice is going to be actually tea with half and half, so I'm going that route today. Not quite in the same vein as like my standard ridiculously strong brew, but it'll work. It'll work. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing. We're doing some standard old tea. Let me scroll. I have got so many good news stories, and it is going to be one of those things where I'm really, truly just going to have to kind of like pick and choose, or kind of gloss over the best bits and pieces of it. But I really want to go in and have some more fun with it. Okay, so coming into the actual House results, it looks like it's like 220-ish or so for Republicans, and you only need 218 for majority. So let me just do a really, really fast search here, real fast. So 2024 House election results. Let me just make that one really quick and easy here. We're just looking for total relations, and we'll go out smartly, hopefully find these numbers correctly. Okay, it looks like hopefully I can find something here. I'll just click on the CNN one and hopefully something happens. So they do say Republicans maintain. Okay, this is really annoying. I'm looking for something easy, and it's just giving me too much crap. So let's just pop over here to Google real fast. That's gonna be here. Just do it like that, okay? So I'm just gonna jump over here to Google. Why? Because I'm just looking for something easy. CNN goes, no, we have to feed you our election crap. Okay, so 2024 election results. Obviously, Trump got 312, Harris got 2026. The actual House numbers, hang on a second here. House is going to be 218 for majority, 212 for the Democrats. So they're not having that in any way, shape, or form. And I think there's actually a couple of I think there's still a couple of House seats that are still being decided. They're still doing like the final tabulations, but they're not going to pull this one out. Okay, I'm sorry, Democrats, you did not win this one. It's done. Okay, that's just not going to happen. It is finito. Just call it for what it is. All right, it's done, duck. I did find it. There's this website. I cannot do this justice. Give me 1 second here. I cannot do this one justice, but this website really, truly cracked me up. They're not appetizers with me whatsoever. I just found the website to be absolutely hilarious, and they're generating something that, truthfully, you could have more than just a little bit too much fun with. So what they're making what looks like a folded $100 bill. Looks very realistic, mind you. But inside it says Kamala lost. If you wish to search for these things online, you can find them. However, the place that you can find them and actually purchase them is going to be a place called usmagamerch.com. All one word. So usmagamerch.com. Kamala lost, LOL, fake dollar bills, gag gift. And I could not do it justice, but man, those things look absolutely freaking hilarious. And use them at your leisure. I was thinking probably, the running joke is, of course, you put them in the tip jar in the baristas in Starbucks and just watch them lose their freaking minds. I don't know if I would ever have the nuts to do that one, but that is bloody hilarious. And I'll commit it to you, and hopefully you guys find some good usage for it if you decide to spread the cheer. I think those on the other side of the aisle are not happy right now. Speaking of something that should not be working, but it still is, JPL, or Jet Propulsion Laboratories, has confirmed that Voyager 1 is still working. Man, this thing was set up in like the 70s, I think it was. I think it actually was launched in like 76 or 79 or something like that. I forget what the exact launch date was. But hang on 1 second here. I can punch it up real fast. So it was launched. It is the furthest human-made object in existence. So for the first time, this coming from the JPL website, first time since November, NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft is returning usable data about the health and status of the onboard engineering systems. The next step is to enable the spacecraft to begin returning science data yet again. The probe and its twin, Voyager 2, are the only two spacecraft to ever fly into interstellar space, or the space between stars. So Voyager 1 stopped sending readable science and engineering data back to Earth on November 14, 2023. Even though mission controllers could tell the spacecraft was still receiving their commands and otherwise operating normally. Now, you got to understand how long this thing has been cranking out, and the lifespan on it is beyond the engineering side of things right now. It probably shouldn't be working, but it still is. So in March, the Voyager engineering team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California confirmed that the issue was tied to one of the spacecraft's 3 onboard computers, also called Flight Data Subsystems, or FDS. FDS was responsible for packaging the science and engineering data before it is sent back to Earth. So the team discovered that a single chip responsible for storing a portion of the memory, including some of the software, isn't working. The loss of the code rendered the science and engineering data unusable. Unable to repair the chip, the team decided to replace the unaffected code somewhere else in the memory, but no single location is large enough to hold the section of code in its entirety. So They devised a plan to divide the affected code into sections and store those sections in different places in the FDS. To make the plan work, they needed to adjust those code sections to ensure, for example, they all still function as a whole. So essentially what they did, instead of having the one chip doing everything, they decided to make it like a local area network. It puts some here, puts some there, puts some here, puts some there, and spread it all out, and then coordinate all those things to go, okay, you got the code for this line, you got the code for that line, you got the code for this line, will now function as a whole, and it'll work. So any references to the location of code as other parts of the FDS memory also needed to be updated as well. So here it is. We're playing with old ass technology using new technology going, okay, how do we make this thing actually do what it needs to do, keep functioning as a whole, and actually still maintain itself, even though it's running some unbelievably archaic technology. But this thing was launched in September 5, 1977, as part of the Voyager program by the other outer solar system and interstellar space between the sun's heliosphere, or the area describing the area of the sun. So Voyager 2 was launched 16 days after Voyager 1, and both those guys are still cruising out there. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so scrolling back to the story at large. So they began singling out the code responsible for packaging the engineering data, sent to a new location after the FDS memory on April 18. Radio signal takes between 22 and a half hours to even reach Voyager 1, which is over 15 billion miles or 24 billion kilometers from Earth, and another 22 and a half hours to get the signal back to Earth. When the mission flight team heard back from the spacecraft on April 20, they saw that the modification had worked. For the first time in 5 months, they've been able to check the health and status of the spacecraft. So during the coming weeks, they're going to relocate and adjust the other affected portions. This will include portions that start returning science data. So this thing launched over 46 years ago. It was really, truly not intended to keep actually functioning. But the crazy part about it is it still is actually working. Now, the crazy thing about it is the actual lifespan on it, it was not designed to run that long, but it is. It is. I cannot begin to tell you how long this thing will actually continue to function, but there is something on there called an RTG, or radioisotope thermoelectric generator. So it contains 3 of those. Now, when it was new, it generated 470 watts of electric power, and as the remainder of it's being dissipating as waste heat. The power output of the RTGs declined over time due to the 87.7 year half-life of the nuclear fuel and the degradation of the actual part that changes the heat into electricity. But they will continue to support some of the operations until at least 2025. So they didn't intend for this thing to actually keep cranking, but it still works. Unbelievably enough, it is still running and gunning. Let's see. Oh, hang on a second. I just got to answer text real fast. Give me 1 second here, and I am done. I'm trying to buy something on Facebook Marketplace, and we're just going back and forth real fast. So let's see. Scrolly. So they say essentially this thing basically got a half-life of 87.7 years. So in other words, it started out at 100%, say, with thermocouple and efficiency and whatnot, say it was 85%. It's now down to half that. Now, is it a grand progression? It is what it is. So, we're kind of doing what we have to do. So we're now basically using what is left of its intended lifespan to further its continued studies outside of us. Alrighty, so scrolly. Getting back into the news stories. The chick that got fired from FEMA, who said the houses with the Trump signs were not supposed to be serviced, is now throwing her bosses under the bus. I almost think it's maybe a deflection, but you know what? In the way that the federal government works, these guys are like rats in a sinking ship. Just give me 1 second here. There's a joke in Maryland, what we say is essentially there's people who are like crabs. And they'll literally drag each other down, just for any form of advancement. There's no other way around it. They're just that kind of unscrupulous people. And the reason why we say they're like a bushel of crabs is because you don't have to put a lid on a bushel of crabs. They won't climb out, mostly because as soon as one starts climbing up, the rest of them grab them and pull them back in. So no crabs escape. They're all constantly grabbing on each other and pulling each other back into the, the morass, malaise, and whatever that they're currently dealing with before they go into the steamer. But you don't need to put a lid on a bushel of crabs because they'll keep pulling each other back into the bushel. And I think what it is right now is this chick is going, oh, hell no, you're not going to do this to me. I'm going to throw you under the bus because you tried to throw me under the bus. Guess what? Mutually assured malaise. And that's what's going on right now is these guys are essentially throwing each other under the bus and dragging each other down. I tend to think the way it's been so hardcore political in all aspects and aspirations of the federal government, it's entirely bloody damn possible that this person was informed, don't help the Trump guys. And she was like, okay. And then it was a case of, oh no, we got caught saying don't help the Trump guys. So they threw her under the bus in the public eye and said, see what she did? She's so bad. And she's like, oh, hell no. You guys told me to do that. I think in the scheme of things, potentially what's going on here is a case of bad leadership being handed down to somebody that just didn't say, you know what, this is crap. I'm not doing this. All right. Yeah. Paige for Fever in the room. Appreciate you hanging out tonight, dude. So I think what's going on with this FEMA chick is I think they informed her, told her, asked her, don't service the Trump houses. And she didn't. And then she's like, well, no. They told me not to service the Trump houses. So that's where we are with that one. Scrolly. This I find blanking hilarious. So supposedly CNN is now having a little bit of a problem with cash flow. Yeah, because really it doesn't take that many on staff to regurgitate DNC talking points and lies, does it? So the CNN boss is saying that they're going to be laying off hundreds after election day. Ratings are horrendously bad. Yeah, so long, butt bung, not feeling it. Scrolly. Supposedly, Boeing. I cannot do this justice, folks. But you hear all this crap about like, oh yeah, the union guys, they're saying we need to be blah blah blah. We need to have better this, that, and the other thing. All the rest of this happy horse stuff. We weren't treated right. Okay, you guys asked for a 30% pay raise. You asked for all these other things. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. Just give me 1 second here. Especially when you put a 7-week strike into a company that's already backlogged with the aircraft that's 75% of the world population of currently flying commercial aircraft is Boeing. So just wrap your head around that for just a second here. It's not just a case of the only planes that are really the major, huge number of commercial aircraft is Boeing. It's the fact the union guys were like, oh, no. We're going to curtail the success of the place that is has the planes used by more people. 3 out of 4 are our planes. We're going to screw up the process because we don't make enough money. I think there's better ways you guys could have done this. I think there's entirely better ways you could have, ascribed yourself to not completely hose the company in such a way, shape, and form that they're now going, guess what? We're going to knock off 17,000 jobs. Thor's hammer. You did it to yourselves. You short-sighted, greedy union butt pukes. Wow. So you greedy a-holes did it to yourselves. Oh, we deserve a 30% pay raise. We deserve all these other things. Okay, I think the biggest problem that they really had was the fact that they didn't have a pension any longer. Maybe because pensions cost so much money that it costs more than the actual working class of those people who are currently working. I think there should have been some profit sharing, and I think there should have been some better retirement planning on the side of Boeing to show these people how to set up for their retirements rather than Boeing going, yeah, well, you guys cost XYZ per year. And oh, yeah, we're going to actually have XYZ waiting for you when you retire. That's not really something that's going to be great. And when you do these things, you're going to be hosing yourself. And in the process of doing these things, you're going to be doing it in such a way that the company goes, we can't afford this anymore. Yeah, because they physically cannot afford to pay twice what you were worth originally. And a pension is essentially giving you a paycheck after you're done working and you're not producing anything for the company. You're still being paid. That is the problem with a pension system if it's not properly funded. Patriot Fever, profit sharing should be a 401k input. Okay, if you want to get absolutely down and dirty, you worked, you paid, you did all the tax stuff while you were currently working. Nobody should be paying taxes on their retirement. Nobody should be paying taxes on their Social Security. Nobody should be paying taxes on any withdrawal of any 401s or any kind of other retirement savings plan. They should not be getting charged another tax. You've already been taxed 3 times before that money even hit the bank or the storage medium to make it your retirement funds. Retirement funds should not be taxed, period. It is a ridiculous, grandstanding way to stick you yet again. And if you want to get really down, really, down and hardcore, Social Security is another form of taxation. Because when it comes right down to it, the money that you're getting hit with is not the money you're going to be getting back out. It's going to be a group-funded thing that is already in deficit because, oh yeah, Congress took the money out of there and gave them an IOU that wasn't worth the paper it was written on to say, yeah, we're going to give you back the money when you retire. And incidentally, if you look at the history of Social Security, it was never, ever intended to be a full retirement. It was intended to be a supplemental retirement fund. Of that, the federal government should not have anything to do with your retirement. You've already worked your ass off, and you've contributed way enough money in the tax load that you paid while you were working. You should not get hit in your golden years, as it were. Now, in the reality of it, what it is, I don't ever think I'm going to actually ever stop working. I don't ever actually think I'm actually physically going to stop, working to the point where I retire. Mostly because I just can't sit around and do nothing. I just physically can't. I actually have to go out and do something daily, or I just feel like things aren't right. Okay. So, like a couple days ago, my car was down for a couple days and it just really didn't feel right. Okay. I mean, it might not be a case where I work every single day of the week, but I want to work the days that I want to work. I mean, that's kind of one of the also nice things about working for yourself is you could choose your workload. I mean, essentially, I had kind of a flat week last week because I was down a couple days with the vehicle being down, but I'm not going to kill myself, trying to make up the deficit. I'm simply going to go, okay, well, in this week, I simply spend less money. I make the thing more self-sufficient rather than drawing a lot of funds out. And also, I kind of lucked out because I did actually have some savings set aside, and I plan ahead for a vehicle. Vehicles are a lot like horses. They're always going to throw a shoe, blow out a tire, have something else go glitchy and stupid. And I knew that I had to have repair work done on mine. The bonus the repairs I was looking at was about a fifth of the price of what actually it was going to be, because it turned out to be, a $19 part as opposed to a $60 part. And the $19 part, while it was mostly labor to replace it, it wasn't like $1,700 worth of labor to fix a $60 part. Oh, this containerization of modern engines and power plants is bloody dang ridiculous. The engineers go, oh yeah, it goes down the assembly line, really, really nice, goes down, bolt on all this stuff, engine and power plant, boop, everything goes in from the bottom, gets plugged in, bolted up, and goes down the assembly line. Comes time to wrench on it, they're basically looking at this surrounded by that. And there's a lot of cars you can tell right off the bat they really don't like wrenching on because they've been so containerized that the stuff that went down the assembly line and plugged into the car perfectly is damn nigh inaccessible unless you literally almost take the car apart, which is one of the things I was looking at. If they had to fix the one thing versus the quote, air quotes, easier thing. Scrolly. I did see that there is a map out, and they recommend these areas that you do not spend your vacation dollars. These would be blue states. Let's give me 1 second here. So from the top on high, I'm just going to go from West Coast to East Coast. So shall we say Washington State, Oregon State, California, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Illinois, Hawaii, Virginia, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, of course, my suck-ass state of Maryland, and of course, Washington, D.C., Maine, and probably maybe some other like blue counties. But you do not need to spend your money in libtard vacation land. USA, do not spend your hard-won vacation dollars in any of these Democrat strongholds. Find someplace red or better. I got this news story, and folks, I do not know how to breach this one except for simply to tell you guys. And I gotta say, oh no, that's not true. Well, it might be tuna, okay? I mean, we're talking about Whoopi Goldberg. Oh no, he's eating snack food. No, sound guy. No, we're talking Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, well, anyway, so Whoopi Goldberg, sound guy. No, I do not see her attractive in the slightest. No, sound guy. No, stop. No, that's just gross. Nope, no. I have only 2 words I can say to Whoopi Goldberg, but she says that she's going to deny sex with men during Trump's reign, and I have only 2 words for you. Thank you. Because nobody wants to. No, nobody wants. No. Sound guy. No. No. Sound guy. No. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to. No. That is a foregone conclusion. Nobody wants to with her in the slightest. No. This one I find to be absolutely blanking hilarious. Coming in from Breitbart.com, the screaming, snarky, libtard memeite who is Latino and who played, I love this, who quote unquote played Snow White in the latest Disney version of Snow White. Rachel Ziegler. She's now apologizing for wishing harm on Trump voters. Folks, I cannot do this justice. Truly, I cannot. So anyway, coming in from Breitbart, like I said, new Disney movie set to open in a few months. Snow White star Rachel Ziegler has issued an apology for her recent comments about the presidential election, in which she wished harm on President-elect Donald Trump and his 76 million voters, saying she hopes that they will, quote, never know peace, end quote. Oh, so anyway, she blamed it on the excess of emotion for her ill-advised comments. Quote, I would like to sincerely apologize for the election post I shared on my Instagram last week. I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding, and I am sorry to have contributed to the negative discourse. Yeah. So in a magnanimous gesture, she added that she believes everyone has the right to their own opinion, even when it differs from my own. I am committed to contributing positively toward a better tomorrow. Uh, yeah. Breitbart News reported Ziegler's original post expressed pure vitriol towards Trump and his supporters in the wake of the election. Quote, this is what she said previously. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leading us toward a world I do not want to live in. She began, later adding, may Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. She added the Trump supporters are part of a deep, deep sickness in this country. I think the biggest problem for her is the fact that she's in a $200 million movie that has to gross over $400 million to just break even. But, if you guys know anything about the movie business, it's not that easy. If it costs $200 million, it needs way more than $200 million to even show a profit. So it has to be even closer to 5 or even 600 million. But bad buzz has followed the movie for months. Rachel Ziegler has ignited enormous backlash from Disney fans last year over comments in which she insulted the original 1937 animated film. Old videos resurfaced showing the actress pompously trashing the Disney classic, claiming the prince character is a creepy stalker and women no longer crave romance. Her snarky attitude created a PR nightmare for Disney's live-action remake, in which she plays the title role. The release was pushed back a full year to 2025 amidst the PR blowback, as well as reports of extensive reshoots. So basically, she completely screwed the pooch. I mean, there is no other way to say it except she basically just
You're in the jailhouse now.
yeah, she definitely got more than a little bit of yeah.
Death! By Snoo!
No, she got
Let's get ready to.
yeah, she definitely got wee. She did not get snoo. No, there was no snoo involved. And I got to tell you, the picture that they have posted up on Breitbart, she looks really contrite and sad. Disney, yet again, you have stepped on the rake and just went right in your face. Wow. Rotor bearing for an 850,000 harvester. Fixing the rotor bearing. No. Oh, the snarf sounds was Whoopi at the KFC buffet. Oh, yeah, she looks like she hasn't missed too many meals. I do think it's funny. There was another related story. I don't actually have the story in front of me, but I'd heard that she was going on about how hard it is to survive in today's economy with the price of everything. It's like, you are worth in excess of $75 million. You make multiple millions of dollars per year on the spew, and you are not broke in the slightest. You know, so she was like, oh, my kid keeps complaining about the price of blah, blah, blah. It's like, why don't you take out the wallet and throw a couple mil? You can afford it, okay? I mean, this whole snarky, false, well, things are so hard nowadays, the price of everything. You did it! You did it. You asked for it. You enabled it. You voted for the guys that wanted that stuff. You made it happen. You own it, Whoopi. You caused where we are now. Ridiculous inflation, ridiculous job situations. The fact that the country is so indebted right now, it's blanking ridiculous. You did it. At least claim some responsibility for it because you made this happen. You put the wrong people in who are going to do these things. You did it. You did it. You did it. You bizzle razzle lizzle itch. You did it. I would say the C word, but that's just too easy. Too easy. She is just a communist. Well, that was the other C word, but commie Hollywood puke. And truthfully, what's really truly the most ironically humorous thing is her name actually is Karen. Yeah. People people don't know that, but yeah, her name actually is Karen. So she is actually a Karen. Ugh. Yeah, Karen Elaine Johnson, but she's Karen with a C. My appropriate. She is a C word. she is a C word. So she is a Karen. This one, I cannot begin to tell you how much this tickles me, cracks me up, and makes me go, why don't you get a reality check? So coming in, truthpress.com, Nancy Pelosi has filed for re-election at 84 years old. Okay, you do realize that a Senate term is 6 years. You'll be towing 90 by the time you're ready to go. Well, I decided it's not enough to be done. No, Nancy Drunkasalowski, you need to simply just scuttle off to the side and let the place go kablooey. In another related story to Karen Goldberg, I'm sorry, Whoopi Goldberg, the claim about the New York City bakery, I guess it was Staten Island, I think it was, who refused to make her a birthday dessert because of her quote unquote politics. No, it's because something was broken and they couldn't actually run the store. Just give me 1 second here. So she's getting panned from all sides. People are saying you are a lying C word, communist. You put out some false stuff and you lied. They didn't say they wouldn't make it for you because of politics. They said they can't make it for you because something was broken behind the scenes and the place was not able to actually make stuff. Oh, you disgusting human being. I do find it very interesting, all the stuff they're trying to throw at Matt Gaetz right now. And the reason being is I've heard it said he's like a dog on bone. When you set him loose, it's not going to be pretty. So they're trying to knock him out of every way possible and throw as much mud as possible. And, try to dirty the waters and, really try to make it hard for Trump to keep his, momentum of everything going forward. I think the biggest problem that it is right now is, can we really afford for this crap to be going on for the, to give raw meat to the Democrats? For these guys to actually say, Thor's hammer, see, that's the problem with Trump's potential cabinet. They're bringing in all these reprobates, bringing all these reprobates. That's the major problem right now. I do not see Gaetz getting in, unfortunately, because you're going to have those turncoat butt bungs in the Congress and Senate going, save my job, don't look bad, rather than actually having a set of nuts and going, you know what, Thor's hammer again. I stand up for the principles. This guy's going to come in here, screw the process up for you, Trump-hating swamp creatures, and kick you the hell out on high, low, middle, all the places. Yeah, especially when you start talking about all those, really intrinsic offices that they're so afraid of losing. That is good, just desserts in my book. Scrolly. Trump hater Eva Longoria reveals that she's left the United States. Bye. So supposedly she'll be staying in Mexico and Spain. And when she needs to, she'll come back to the United States for work. But she's not living here while Trump's in office. The last time you did something that was even notable, which I think was like, that whatever Housewives show was like 14 years ago? Yeah. You are a non-starter. Go away. Just get out. Stop crowing about the fact, I got enough money to live in another country. Go! Don't come back. Asshole. I did have one cute comment that I was kind of, on the fly watching, the the Mike Tyson, whatever his name, fight going on. I said, this fight is like a porn movie with a girl walks around the building for 3 hours wearing clothing. It is nothing. It's just nothing going on. You're just watching something that really has no bearing on any form of entertainment. It was beyond weak. Beyond weak. Scrolly. I did hear this news story. It kind of cracked me up. Supposedly, Truth Press, the House Democrats are sick of Nancy Pelosi. Not too bad. She's running again. I'm not going to talk about this one or not, but supposedly there's now been a second occasion where a bullet has struck an incoming plane. The first time was in Haiti. The second time was in Dallas. Well, anybody who starts shooting at incoming aircraft, I hope they catch you. And I hope it's one of those cases of, they're pecking rounds at the plane, and all of a sudden you see like the attack helicopter come cruising in and goes, oh, there you are. And besides launch a couple of hellfires on your ass. That to me would be just desserts, fixing the problem. And oh yeah, you get to not do it again. And you get, oh yes, the postscript, first class mail addressed to hell. Good riddance. Don't shoot at aircraft. Scrolly. I did have another one I thought was kind of cute. There's one thing you can say about the Democrat loser, libtarded, head-shaving women. Those women will never have a bad hair day to complain about, but they'll only have to worry about skin cancer and ever-present sunburn. Also, they're well engineered to be very easily identified. And if I ever encounter one of those people, guess what? I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to have anything to do with you. And if you climb in my car, I'm going to say, yeah, I got a problem. My car's now broken. You got to get out. I got to cancel the ride. Boop. If you're not a cancer patient and you're one of those head-shaving Trump haters, I'm not going to have a single thing to do with you. I'm going to find the quickest exit option, and you are gone. I will not have anything to do with you, you silly people. I did find it very interesting to say that basically they now have the new Department of Government Efficiency, or the DOGE. And it's not really even a department. It's more of an advisory thing where you basically have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Their mission: cut federal spending by $2 trillion. Now, Elon Musk has already been stated, I can cut $2 trillion off the federal budget. Needs to have happen. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this one kind of cracked me up because running around, shooting off half-cocked, he's running around shirt-cocked. Supposedly, Alec Baldwin was roasted after he'd been caught with a senior moment on Saturday Night Live as he forgot to zip up his pants and was walking around airing everything out downstairs. Why somebody didn't catch him as he was walking on stage, I have no clue, but he's getting flamed yet again. Dude. Really? Dude. Wow. Ratings desperation taking place on the MSNBC side of things. On the morning show, those weenies are now sucking up to Trump at Mar-a-Lago, saying that they are, quote-unquote, opening up the channels of communication. Seeing it as what it is, I think Trump actually is like, you know what? Sure. Yeah, let's sit down and have some conversations. This could be entertaining, 1. 2, informative for you. 3, I'll be putting out the profile. And 4, those items that I really truly wish to fix in the federal government and in the country at large. I will finally have an open forum of which to speak on something other than Sinclair or the other charitable, OAN, the other charitable news organizations. He's actually now talking to somebody on the cable channel side. However, MSNBC is pretty much the redheaded stepchild of cable news right now. They are weak sauce. They are not doing great, even though that they're trying to put themselves out there as, yeah, we're the guys. No, you're not. You're not the guys. Could be said that you really truly aren't the guys any longer. CNN is really only slightly better, and cable news right now is so ruined their credibility. Wow. is also hilarious that they pissed off 50%. 50% of those people are completely beholden to go, oh, I watch this like religiously. Oh, too funny, too funny. Speaking of somebody that basically got caught with their pants down, almost quite literally, but lying BS artist says what? Yeah, she was wrong by 16 points in the polling. So, and I love when people do that, abbreviate the first name on their name. But Jay Ann Seltzer, a pollster who predicted Kamala Harris would win Iowa, retires after a massive miss. Now, I've heard it positive, like, with late night talk shows, they were talking about her. Potentially, it wasn't a case of she was like, well, I'm of age. It's now a good time to retire. It might also be a case where the agency that was employing her goes, you know what? No, Seltzer, you're out of here. Clean your desk out and get the F chuck out. You are not worthy of our paychecks any longer because you screwed it up huge. You couldn't even be honest about it in the last couple weeks. You screwed the pooch. Get out of here. You're done. Goodbye. Scrolly. This really pisses me off. As somebody former military as I am, this really pisses me off. The generals who commanded that unbelievably wasteful, ill-advised, and horrifically executed yank out from Afghanistan are now worried about being stuck with the charges. Yeah, you guys could be court-martialed for every bit of stupidity that you created. You could have told Joe Kaka, in no uncertain terms, that is an unlawful order. I feel that it's going to be really bad. We're going to have a military tribunal right now to assess whether you are worthy to maintain office as the president. Instead, what did they do? They just went, yes, sir, and stuck their noses so far up his butt that they were probably sticking their nose out his mouth. They could not have anything to do except, yes, sir, we're going to do these stupid ass things. Absolutely. They could have resisted, and he could have said, this is ill-advised, sir. We are not doing this, and giving our guys a chance to get the tail feathers shot off. Leaving it behind how many billions of dollars of equipment to our bad guys that we can't stop any longer are now driving around, flying around, going, hey, America, this is great stuff. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. So all that technology, supposedly, that we left behind, they're now using to further the cause of that whole tribal warfare thing that's been going on for thousands of years in Afghanistan, where the Mujahideen are now screwing over their own guys with the tribal wars that have been going on forever since, well, Christ was a cadet. Scrolly. I really don't like bashing on, political figures, kids, but she deserves it. She deserves it. So Tim Walz's daughter, Hope Walz, the 23-year-old daughter of failed Democrat VP candidate, Tim Walz. I got to say, this cow-faced kid is itching about her suck-ass daddy losing. No, screw you, kid. Screw you. You're just a butthole, okay? There's no other way in the world to say it. Simply, straight answer, you are just one of those people. Straight answer, you cannot. You lied and defiled, which you tried to ruin about all the crap that you guys tried to stick in there. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. There's a video out now. I can throw you the link. It is beyond bad. But there's now a Coca-Cola commercial for the holidays that is fully AI generated. Just give me 1 second here. You know how they say, AI is completely soulless? That's this commercial. It really, truly has just the most benign, non-interest imagery to just go, see, this is kind of talking about holidays. It's holiday time. It's coming. Holiday time is coming. Nothing specific, but yet all kinds of sparkly stuff and stars and, kind of almost want to be Christmas type things. Lots of Coca-Cola vehicles, operating in bottles, kind of, showing themselves as like holding like, liquids that you should be consuming for the holidays. Yeah, it's the most soulless piece of crap I have ever seen in my life. So now, supposedly, Coca-Cola is facing an intense backlash because of their AI Christmas ad. So Coca-Cola soft drink empire is drawing intense backlash after releasing this piece of crap. Wow. This, I cannot begin to tell you how funny I think this is, but this shows you just the complete and total desperation of the Democrat Party. So the guy who basically completely stuck his entire head up, Kamala Harris's butt is now kirking out because they're still sending fundraising emails to those people who contributed to them. And he's on his late night show going, hey, you're still sending me begograms. Weeks after getting their asses kicked, they're still begging for money. Why? Because Kamala stole the hole for like 20 million. Yeah. So this one coming in also is very, very interesting. Supposedly there's now a deep state expert who's explaining how Trump could purge unelected bureaucrats. Now, the thing about the problem is with bureaucrats, everybody hates the way that the government does everything because it takes too long, it doesn't work, and it costs entirely too much. Excuse me. So the Office of Management and Budget will play a key role in strangling the power of unelected bureaucrats in the second Trump administration, believes Russ Vought, a former department director and president of Center for Renew America. Bureaucracies hate the American people, Vought told Tucker Carlson. The American people currently are not in control of the government, and the president hasn't been either. So Voight's idea could be a fixture of second Trump administration. Reports indicate President-elect Donald Trump is considering Vought to lead the department again. The OMB is a very significant department, oversees the implementation of the president's vision across the executive branch, and through it, Trump has the power to axe agency funding that will likely try to operate outside the scope of his agenda. Thor's hammer. Trump vowed during the campaign to rid the federal bureaucracy, or the deep state as he calls it, of rogue and corrupt actors. Many of the tools are run through the OMB, Vought explained in an interview with Carlson. So essentially, he's basically saying it's the nerve center, blah, blah, blah. They can do all these great things. Trump can be interacting with it. He can make all these things get defunded. Now, this is something else that most people did not see or notice, and this is huge. Now, you guys probably saw the pictures where they had Trump at the UFC fight, and the UFC guy comes down, and he's like, so great to meet you, Mr. President, blah, 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 and gave him the belt. Well, here's the other side of the story most people did not catch. Okay, Trump was sitting with Elon Musk to his left shoulder. To his right shoulder was somebody else entirely. That guy was none other than Yasser Al-Rumayyan. So that guy is the head of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or the PIF. So he runs that. The PIF is a sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia, which is controlled by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and governed by Al-Rumayyan. So according to Reuters, the PIF is estimated to have $925 billion in assets in July. Wow. So, along with his involvement in the PIF, Al-Rumayyan chairs the Saudi Aramco, a state-owned petroleum company, as well as the country's largest mining company, Ma'aden. So, Maaden. He is also the chairman of English Premier Newcastle United Football Club. So, he's into soccer, too. So, last year, the PGA, DP World Tour, and PIF, which backs LIV Golf, announced a deal to unify the game of golf on a global basis. This is huge. They really, really, really want golf to come into the, the Arab world, like the UAE and Saudi Arabia and all those things. They are putting major, major bucks into it. Now, the way I describe that picture is between these three guys sitting side by side, that is $1.9 trillion sitting at the side of a UFC fight. $1.9 trillion of liquidity. Wow. So I think right now, Trump talking to that guy, you're going to see some things happening that the Democrats never really ever could do. And they're going, but. You guys don't understand how to make these things happen like the way Donald Trump does and the way that Elon Musk does. You just don't. So that guy sitting beside Trump, you're going to see some interesting moving and shaking. I got to switch gears here. I got to switch over to the Spanish lingo. So let me switch over here real fast. I'll do it in Spanish. I'll translate it in English for you guys. Tuvimos una llamada me cordial con el presidente electo Donald Trump en los hablamos de la buena relación que hablaba entre Mexico y Estados Unidos. Okay, so what that means in English is we had a very cordial call with President-elect Donald Trump, in which we talked about the good relationship there will be between Mexico and the United States. That's the president of Mexico, okay? And she's like, oh, no, we're going to be best friends. We've been talking all the time. It's going to be great. We have all these amazing things going on. The relation's going to be amazing. That's not by accident, folks. She knows that she's going to have to fix some slight, southbound guys and go, yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to hold them up here in Mexico. Because you know what? You do not go across the Mexican border from south of Mexico in, South America into South Mexico unless they're letting you in. There's a big difference between their southern border and our southern border. You don't do that in Mexico. And even if you're like the cartels and the federales, are not going to allow that. Scrolling. If you guys caught up on this one, it's going to be a shorter, but supposedly Spirit Airlines, also known as riding in the worst possible seating potentially ever in air travel, has just filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, there is one of these things. I saw this coming. I knew this airline was not doing good. And the thing about it is they were recently blocked from doing a merger by the SEC with JetBlue. Denied the merger, said, nope, you're not doing that. You're not going to have two budget airlines making one big budget airline, which was just stupid for the SEC. Hopefully they do get that to have happen. And I hope that also Spirit Airlines gets somewhat better, because I cannot tell you the number of times as an Uber driver, I had somebody get on my ride and I'm taking them to the airport. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, this, that, and the other thing. And they're flying, like another airline. It's like, yeah, we get to talk about stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm not flying Spirit again. It's like, really? You flew them? It's like, yeah, I flew them once. One time, never getting in another Spirit airplane ever again. Most uncomfortable seats possible. Yeah, it's cheap, but they charge you for everything. Another time I had two little old ladies. I was taking them to the airport and they were flying on Spirit. I got to tell you what, their purses looked like watermelons because they were stuffed so full of all their stuff. They were like, oh yeah, we don't have any bags. No, but their purses weighed like about 20 pounds because that was all their stuff stuffed into their bags. So that's literally what they did, was they had their purses as their luggage. Scrolly. This one is one of those things that I think is going to be probably going to be universal at this point. Uber has had rider identifications. There's like a little, check mark that pops up, verified, blah, blah, blah. This is their name. So now Lyft, and I don't do Lyft. Lyft is now starting to roll out rider verification badges in a safety push. And basically what it is you have to verify who you are when you sign up for Uber or sign up for Lyft. And I think it's one of those things where new riders have to verify. Older riders, I think it's on them whether they want to verify or not. But personally, it really doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of difference to me unless I'm going to a sketch area. And then if they're not verified, there is that determination. I go, you know what? Nah, it seems sketch. Scrolly. This one really sucks. Supposedly, there's now a legal decision that can make old games harder to play, utilize, and actually get. Try to download them. They're making the file, exchanges now illegal. They're making it harder for people to keep the old games. Why? Because they want you to have the new games as something streaming or something downloadable only from them. Well, if you're running an older console, how would you possibly go back and go, hey, Nintendo, hey, Atari, hey, it's Sony, I'm looking to get one of these games. I want to basically keep playing this game. They're going to go, yeah, too bad. We don't support that any longer. That's on you. Screw off. And that's where we are right now. But there's a lot of people that play the older games. And one of the classic ones I saw was the old Sony PlayStation, the original PlayStation, they literally have this new setup where you unplug the CD-ROM, put it to the side because it's obviously a wear and tear item. The lasers get wonky on it, and they've never been like 100% to begin with because it's a purple laser. So there is that. The other thing too is you now taking out the CD-ROM, you replace it with an SSD. The problem is, where do you get the actual games to install in the SSD that's going to be playing in the PlayStation? Well, in a perfect world, literally, you would have some guy who's like, yeah, I got all these games on file and whatnot, this, that, and the other thing. Hey, can you transfer them in? No, I really can't. But I'll tell you what, I'll sell you an SD card with some files on it, but I can't say what the files are. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's what's going to happen to that one. So they then sell you the SD card. You plug it into the PlayStation with the adapter unit. Obviously, there's going to be some other tweaks and minor mods. And that now runs not just the one game on the CD-ROM, but whatever the content is on the actual SSD card, which could be somewhere in the order of a few thousand games. Yeah. That's the way that one works. Scrolly. Amount of content on my my news stuff, but I wanted to go real quick through like basic. You have an item and you want to have maybe like potentially specified units of it. What are we talking about? We're going to be talking about specifically about knives. Case in point, I just got this in too, and this is kind of one of my rarer new guys. This one is a Spyderco Catcherman. So literally, this is a fishing knife, flexible blade, good stuff like that there. Is this going to be a good survival style knife? I would say probably not. Blade profile is way too thin. It kind of is a very specialized piece. It's really not intended to be a survival type knife. Yes, it's kind of cool if you go, you're pulling fish out of the water and whatnot, but you could fillet a fish. It's not as pretty to do it with something other than a fillet knife, but you can do it literally with any kind of knife as long as you're careful, okay? Might not be the prettiest thing when you're done, but it'll still work, okay? Universally, obviously, you probably want to have, a pocket tool chest. This one, of course, being a Swiss Champ. The Champion did not have the pliers. It was missing maybe like a couple other things, but that's the biggest difference, obviously, is does it have the pliers? Does it have like, a couple of little thingamabobs to make it the full the full Champ? Now, truthfully, I want to have the Champ for a very good reason, is if I'm cooking something over a fire and I'm trying to grab something hot, read like you're using like a tin can in place of like, a pan. We're talking worst of times. You can grab a hold of the whatever it is, take it off the fire, put it to the side without trying to then use a couple of sticks and potentially spill the can over. And, there's a lot of good toolage on here. Only problem is yes, this is a chunk. It's 10 plus ounces to have on your person. It is a pocket killing device. It will literally wear the pockets out on your pants. Trust me, I know this. Case in point, you could take a step up. You could actually have the lock blade version of this. This one being one of the really, really big guys. This one, I don't even think it's really broken in. It's actually quite stiff. But one of the bigger guys, this one, of course, being one of the lock blades. You can see this is one of the slide locks. The later ones had a liner lock setup. This one, of course, also having pliers on board, which is just, convenient. Obviously, this guy is going to be quite a bit chunkier than this guy in terms of actual length. You're talking 111 millimeters, I think, to 113, I think it is, or something like that. No, it's more than that. 113 millimeters? I think it's under 13 millimeters. No, it's bigger than that. I forget what the actual length is. But the locking versions of these guys, it's still a locking blade. Do you really need that in the worst case? Well, a slip joint will close on your fingers and cut you if you're not being careful. Probably even less practical, but probably still fun to carry. But, a double-edged dagger of some variety, this one, of course, being a Tekna. Is it really, truly usable in the field? Well, it makes great holes. You do have two edges which to play with. This one, of course, actually having serrations. Is it really a good hack and stabber? It's more stab than hack. Now, in terms of actual field use, There's the old saying is it's really easy to use a big knife to do small jobs rather than trying to use a small knife to do big jobs. Case in point, I'm going to be pulling out and utilizing the Gerber BMF. This one, of course, being one from my what I call my dog box. So literally, it was one that I picked up. Obviously, it's completely rusted out on one side, pretty on one side, well, semi-pretty, rusted up on the other side. Nothing really truly wrong with it other than the finishes just absolutely suck. The grips actually had some, not a nice life to it because it's actually kind of been compressed over the years. So this thing is my kind of more of a, user, not going to worry about bashing it up, not going to worry about, hacking up the finish on it. It's seen a hard life. It's, it's usable. But in terms of actually hacking stuff, that's really the forte of this. Fine cutting and whatnot, really kind of not so much. So in terms of actual field use, probably you want to have something like this, something like this. Between these two, you'll be held in good stead. Obviously, this one has a saw on board. It does fine cutting. This guy's pretty good for taking down the saplings and whatnot if you're trying to build a fire or trying to build any kind of a lean-to or camping type of setup and whatnot. Big is going to be, well, better than small. So what would be the upper limit of big? I would say probably maybe something along the lines of, I thought I had it here somewhere. There it is. There he is. He's hiding. The upper limit of something in the field. This one, of course, being a Camelus military machete. I do actually have quite a bit of an edge on this thing. You see, actually, it does have some dents, so it is a user. So it has some little dents and what have yous. Built-in sharpener, not the best. I would say probably if you're going to field with one of these guys, have a file. Just have a file. It just makes your life so much easier. Quick touch up on these guys, and it is fairly soft steel. Now, Dave Canterbury has a video up on YouTube. I don't know where it is in terms of the realms of where it is on his actual YouTube channel, but he does have a video where he does modifications on one of these guys and literally uses like Ranger bands and has like shoot cord on there and turns it literally into a survival system. Now, I personally will always get the polymer sheets. Does have a drain plug, a drain hole on board, numerous other holes alongside it, so it will keep your stuff semi-dry. This is carbon steel. It will rust. However, it's just one of those timeless designs that really, truly, I can't get my head around to say, I wish it was something better. It just works. I mean, I have taken down so many trees with this thing, so much brush with this thing. It's just been like a daily driver forever. I have always used these. I've always had one of these things, at least in my tow truck when I was driving tow trucks, because you never know when you get into a situation where somebody's car is crashed into the brush and you're dealing with stickers. That is my absolute hated vegetation. I will take great joy in hacking stickers to bits. So anyway, this is, I think, would probably be your upper limit, would probably be a machete. You can have this thing on alongside your pack, either shoot corded on or tied up into the molly or something along those lines. As long as you got it on board, you can have it up and ready. Sheathing it back up might take a second step, but you'll at least have it ready and willing to go. This might be your upper limit. The other thing, too, is also weight-wise, this is not that much lighter than this. And this, obviously being carbon steel, you can run it off the back edge. You can run your ferrocerium rod off of this guy. Stainless doesn't work so good in that regard. You probably want to have either a striker or a carbon steel blade with which to start your fires with your ferrocerium. Or, failing that, there's still that very, very low-tech item, also known as the survival device that smokers have, also known as a Bic lighter. You find these things everywhere. Cheap, simple, stupid, and they work. Anyway, let's see. Anything else jumping out at me? Nothing else really going on. In the room. Patriot Fever says I need to check out the Roxxon. The Rocks. Okay, that's kind of almost, it sounds almost Roxxon. I'm just going to look it up real fast what you're talking about here. So let me find this guy real fast. It is a multi-tool. Dude, I have multiple multi-tools, okay? Typically for a multi-tool, I tend to utilize something along the lines of like a Gerber, either a 400 or a 600. Reason being, You know, I know everybody's so jacked up about like Leathermans and whatnot, but you got to like unfold them and, futz around with and whatnot. You take the Gerber out of the sheath, you snap down, it slides out of its own handles and locks in place with 2 pins that pop out. It is a one-hand deployment for the Gerber pliers. That's the main reason why I truly love those things. They are so cool. Let me look on the Flex here. I do like the fact that you could buy bits. You could switch up the bits in it. That's kind of cool. And they have stacks of different a scalpel holder. Dude, what kind of a toy are you talking about here? Scalpel holder. Jeez. Scalpel holder long. Oh, it does have a fire starter. Okay, that's cool. And there is wow, these things they're kind of cool. Okay. All right. I will give it its due and I will look it up. And you said the Roxxon S802. So let me take a look at that one real fast. Let's see. Scrolly. Roxxon 802. I don't know. I just kind of like the fact that, I've been using Swiss Army knives for, blanking ever. That is also known as the 802, or sorry, S802 Phantom. So scrolly. Come on, window. It's being slow. Come on, window. It's being slow. Or it might just be a website. Some websites drag a little bit because they have so much crap they're trying to do. That's not so harsh and terrible. Oh, okay. So you basically got like a couple of Allen screws for the scales, and then obviously it folds up like a Leatherman. You have replaceable blades on the cutters on the pliers. You have a handy little side toolkit. There is a pair of scissors with, like another little handle that pops out. And yeah, it's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. I'll give it a second look, man. Appreciate you throwing that out at me. Yeah, I saw that. I said, Patriot Review Room saying it's modular so you can make it fit to you. That's definitely one of the kind of cool things. You can do that with, the Gerber too. It's just, you basically have to find the items, switch the items, play with the items, make the items happy. Don't make the items too happy because, well, don't make your items happy in public. All right. That's just bad. Well, could it be possibly too much of making your items happy and, well, just yeah, you don't want to do that, okay? Don't do that. Don't make your items happy the wrong way.
Mother.
Okay, thanks, sound guy. Don't make your items happy the wrong way. No, that is not deserving of a ding. All right, that was weak. That was that was definitely sorry. That was unworthy. Okay, unworthy.
Wow! It's spicy!
Really? Okay. Anyway, so let's see. Anything else jumping out at me at this time? I'm running a couple minutes over here, over my usual time. I mean, I try to, stay around about an hour because, people start, kind of like laying out and, I don't want to make everybody too bored, but thanks, sound guy. Okay, so sound guy's telling me it's time to go bye-bye. Thanks, sound guy. All right, you guys hung out with me. I appreciate your kind attention. Got many other things to do, but you did it with me on a Tuesday. I truly appreciate your kind attention. You guys hung out with me, and I will say thank you so very, very much. Get a gold star for attendance, all the good stuff like that there. I will see you next week. Good stuff like that there. Appreciate your kind attentions. I will see you then. Have a good one. I will catch you guys later. Catch you guys. See ya.